fucking burps and shit out of the way. Right, well, hopefully I'm live. Welcome to the first Double Bill Movies live stream. I don't know why I decided to do one. I just had a spur of the moment thought last week. And of course, you may know that I tried to go live last week and I couldn't. Anyway, I thought I'd reschedule it for this Wednesday, and here we are. So it's going to be a Q&A. Just kind of ask me anything you want, really. Yeah, we'll take it from there, shall we? So I did a video recently where I mentioned, I was getting close to 50. Now, that can kind of make some people think, well, what's wrong with 50? Nothing wrong with 50. There's reasons behind that kind of comment. So let's put into perspective. Back in 2020, when everyone was going through, obviously, the pandemic, I decided to have cancer. Now, thankfully, I've beaten the cancer and it's gone. But there's no reason I would, not want to get to 50 because to me, every birthday now is a blessing. I'm still here to have birthdays. So bring on 50, 60, 70, 80. It's great. There's just some other things that have happened in my life that, we all go through things and things get taken away from us for whatever reason, or sometimes it's hard to sort of cope without them. So sometimes it feels like life's getting away a little bit, but I think it's like that for all of us, really. So hello, Cheekster. Yes, I'm doing great, my friend. So can you hear me okay? Can you just let me know if you can hear me all right? I'm sorry the picture quality is not quite what you're used to, but this is a laptop. Yep. I've got a setting for 1 minute per comment, just so that I don't get too bombarded with comments. So if you're typing away and sort of going send, and it doesn't send, just give it a little second, and then you can comment. So now I don't mind if I just sit here and talk to Cheekster all night. Well, it won't be all night because I want to watch a film later. Cool, like that. Yeah, hopefully it would be nice to see some more of you in the comments. perhaps I'll wait a little bit longer and just ramble on. Hey, Keith, you all right? Great to see you. So Keith says, great to see you doing a solo stream. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Yes, I'm doing brilliantly. I'm doing really well. Thank you, Keith. Just seen your little Hollywood Boulevard pictures on Facebook. So yeah, if you saw my comment, you need to get some stars in there and get some like your family names or something in there up to your movie room. Or maybe your favorite YouTube channels. Hey, Bumper. Cool. Glad the sound and picture is great. That's what Bumper asks, in case you didn't know. So, going to slow down a bit because I'm rushing, and I don't want to rush. I want you to understand what I'm saying, and so obviously, I need to learn how to do this. This is new to me, but I've seen plenty of live streams, so I just need to remember to read the comments out. So, you know. Which movie are you planning on watching this evening? That is a brilliant question, Cheekster. Now, Bumper might know this because I just received it in the post from him. And it was basically sort of a birthday present, but also when he took part in the Vinegar Syndrome sale, he asked me if I wanted anything because things were so cheap. And I said, yes, I did. But it turns out you could only have one per customer. So basically what he did, he bought the film I wanted. He watched it himself and he's kept it in splendid condition. And he's now sent it to me. And it is Creature. So it's got a lovely slip. So I shall be watching this after the stream. I shall probably watch the shortest version. And then I'll watch a longer version another time. So, also Bumper sent me this thing. It's a really cool medallion. I really like it. And let's get it out of the box, shall we, and show you. La la la. So even the packaging is good. You can push up the back, you see, and it makes it easier to get out of the box. Whoops. So it's quite weighty. There you see United States Antarctica Research Program, 1982. An Outpost 31 with National Science Institute. And of course, you probably just saw the thing. That is a brilliant gift. So thank you, my friend. Put that away in a minute. And he also confessed that he's been feeling my presence. So yeah, late birthday card, but hey, it doesn't matter. My birthday's kind of gone on for about 3 weeks now. So hello, Neil. Whoops. Yeah, Neil, you can decide what we watch tomorrow, mate. So I ran this idea past Ellen and she was having none of it. Oh, Keith, mate, I'm sorry about that. So Keith's fiance does not like the idea of having stars in their pathway up to their movie room. So boo-hoo. Any other comments? No, right. Hi, Trevor. Nice stream, and you have Darth Vader next to you. Yes, I do. Well spotted, Neil. Nice to see I'm training you well. So Keith, I already put this question. No, he's added more. Up to, but it put this question. Oh, but it's been deleted. So I'm going to do it again. And apologies if it comes up twice. What inspired you to start your YouTube channel? Oh, actually, Keith, it's our mutual friend John. John Perry from Mondo Chelevec. When I caught one of his videos where he sat and talked about how he ummed and ahed about doing a channel for 2 years, procrastinated on the idea for 2 years. And I could totally understand why he did. I was mid-treatment. So if you missed what I said right at the beginning, back in 2020, I had cancer. So during the second half of 2020, when it was discovered, and the first half of 2021, I was being treated. So I watched a lot of YouTube because it was really good to, keep me going, keep me focused, and keep me fighting. And like I said, I caught one of John's videos, and he said about how he thought of doing it, and just sort of, and it made me think, if he can do it, then I can do it. And I have all this, I have all these titles, and obviously many others, and yeah, I've got plenty to share. So that's what made me start my channel. This is actually my second channel. I do have one which was kind of based around my drumming. Now, again, it was while I was being treated, so I only did a few videos for it, and I got a bit despondent. But when you're being treated for cancer, the drugs and the chemo and everything, it really sort of destroys your mindset. And whereas sometimes you're really focused on getting better, other times you're just really despondent, and it plays with your emotions and mental health massively. But if you want, I'll leave a link in the description below, and on Catch Up you can check out that channel, because it's clearly not this double bill movies one. And hey Matt, so yeah, Dan's here too, Dan's Man Cave. Thanks for coming on. Dave McKee, hello Dave. So yeah, Keith, that's why I started my channel, mate. So Cheekster, why do boutique labels sometimes use the same poster art on the slipcase and the steelbook, or case inside, rather than multiple different post art? Do they not have the rights to use? Do they not have the rights to use different versions? That is part of the case, I think. So these boutique labels, they license these films, these movies, these titles from the studios that created them. And I think at times they come with stipulations. So take 88 for example, and their version of Detox. There's only one version of art on the slip, the inlay, and the disc itself, isn't there? I just don't think they were allowed to use anything else, because we know they're capable of creating great artwork. And so yeah, that's kind of why I was going to do a follow-up to my packaging video. Because I've learned a little bit more, and I understand a bit more, and I just thought it'd be good to share. So yes, Cheekster, I'm pretty sure that's kind of why they don't always have the rights. And maybe another studio is going to do something, and they've got more rights. Who knows? Depends what they paid, wasn't it? So Dan, hi Trevor. Great to see you live solo for the first time. Now I would have thought your channel was older than John's. Wow. Time flies. Seems like you've been around for years. Oh, thanks, Dan. Hopefully that means that it looks like I kind of know what I'm doing when I'm presenting my videos. Well, I am a performer. I'm a drummer, and I played on stage many times. So I think my presenting skills kind of are helped by that. I can see, obviously, early on in my really early videos, especially when my hair was still short, that I was a bit sort of nervous, a bit maybe apprehensive, and said a lot. But I've been around production, I've been around film production, I've been around, not necessarily in the capacity I want, but I've watched so many different bonus items and things like that, especially with my old job. And so I've kind of conditioned myself to this kind of thing. Yes, I suppose it does feel like I've been around a long time. So Dave McKee, Hello, Trevor. I've been trying to send you a video of my setup with the TV and projector screen, and I just can't do it. Oh, mate. Okay, so my channel does have an email. So if you look for that in the, I think it's in the About section, there is a service called, oh, it's just got out of my head. WeTransfer. Yes. So if you go and find WeTransfer, then you basically put the email address in you want to send the file to, and then you can send large files, and so hopefully it won't be too big, so it doesn't completely fill up the laptop, as I won't be able to watch it. But yeah, so go to WeTransfer, put in the channel, my channel's email address, and send me the video that way, and I'll take a look. It'd be good to see it. So Leslie's here from The Good, the Bad, and the Okay. Hey, Trevor. Apologies, you're late. Well, I've only been on a few minutes, mate. Doesn't matter. You don't have to be here dead on 7. But it's good to have you around. So thanks for watching. So Bumper says, The Wicker Man 4K from Studio Canal looks good. What's your favourite folk horror? I find folk horror a bit strange. I haven't seen Midsummer yet, and I think that's partly why. Now, I love The Wicker Man, but it does what it's supposed to do to me. It makes me feel uncomfortable. But that's why I think it's so brilliant. But I'm not sure of any other folk horror films I've seen. You may be able to tell me which ones I've seen that are folk, and I'll be able to tell you what my favourite is. So at the moment, yes, it's going to be The Wicker Man. And I did not get it until the end, which either makes me a bit dumb, or again, the film did what it was supposed to do. But yeah, what a brilliant film. And I've said this before, I think. When I was at, I spent a day at Bray Studios, obviously, which was heavily involved in the making of most of the Hammer horror films. And the guy I was spending the day with, he told me this story that when the M3 motorway was being built, they had to go through an area where there were these sheds, and in these sheds were lots of film reels, and amongst those film reels just happened to be extra bits from The Wicker Man. There are, I think, like VHS versions or something that include these reels in, but clearly those original film assets are now buried under the M3. So if anyone can corroborate that and tell me that I've not been spreading this story around, would be great. But yeah, how kind of sad and frustrating is that back in the day they just didn't really take as much care as they do now. Anyway, so right, comments are running away a little bit here. AJ's in. Hello, mate. Cheekster, right. On average, how many movies do you watch at home per week? And do you always use your projector when watching movies? Right. Well, of late, my wife's been very kind and she's letting me watch one film a night. To be honest, I couldn't watch more than 2, and they'd have to be really short. So sometimes when I'm perhaps doing one of my double bill episodes and they range about 3 hours, I have to start just before 7 o'clock because bedtime at 10. And so, yeah, about 7 to 10 films a week, maybe. And of course, Neil, the comment below you, he's coming around tomorrow night and we're going to watch whatever he decides to watch. So Neil says, do you think you'll ever do a video on what your favorite movies are? Perhaps your favorite double bills? Yeah, that's a good idea. I guess I've got so many ideas for videos. Hence the little splurge of series that I started a while back. And that's, doesn't cover half the things I want to talk about. But yeah, I do need to do a video on that. So perhaps I'll put that one in the works and get that out soon. Hey, so Keith says, do you have a prized possession in your movie collection? And what would your holy grail item that you would love to own? Well, Keith, I'll be back. Hang on. Keith, I pretty much already have my holy grail. And I know you want this. I got this on eBay for about £80, and it's in splendid condition. This is not necessarily my prized possession, but the fact that there is literally only 500 of these, if I can get that in focus, you know, and I managed to get one at not particularly stupid prices. Yeah, that's a kind of a pretty good holy grail. So let's see. I'm looking at right now my Amazon exclusive 4K Star Wars box set, the one with the Death Star on the front that opens like this, and inside there is a letter from Mark Hamill. Now I haven't watched any of them yet. I'm kind of, well, I was saving it till I was able to do 4K, which I now can, and obviously I can use them, watch them on my projector. But since I got that DVD box set I showed you a little while ago, that has the original trilogy in, with the unfettered versions, pre 1997 versions, I'm kind of going to watch them first before I watch 4K. So I'll be watching DVDs first. But I mean, my whole collection is my holy grail, really. I love my collection. But right, what else? Oh, Doctor Impossible. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Yeah, Doctor Impossible of Counterpunch, 1984. Are you big on Ozploitation, Trevor? I see Umbrella are releasing a flashy release of Razorback in Australia. I still have the old Warner archive going. Oh, good evening. Ozploitation. I'm aware of the term, and I'm not entirely sure I've seen any. The only Australian films I know I've seen are obviously the Mad Max ones and the Wolf Creek films. I've seen there is a World War II one. The name escapes me. I know there's more than one World War II film from Australia, but there is one that I have seen and I need to see again. So, yeah, I can't really answer that much beyond there. Dan's Man Cave says, as you're a fan of war movies, do you have one in particular that you'd like to see more historically accurate remake? Yeah, well, I'm only just sort of starting to learn, really, that so many of these films are just not accurate at all. I mean, Battle of the Bulge, what a great film that is, but highly inaccurate, apparently. And that's kind of disappointing. I knew that U-571 was, made up in the sense that the Americans did not come across the Enigma machine first. Us Brits did. And thankfully, at the end credits, there is a paragraph that comes up on screen stating that. But the first time I watched that movie, it sounded absolutely phenomenal. The surround sound and everything. This was back on my old, DVD setup. I've had surround sound for quite a while, and I loved it. I thought it was a great film. But the last time I watched it, knowing how just inaccurate and sort of made up it is, I was like, it's a great film, but it's not a great World War II film. So maybe not a remake, but a proper version of the submarine, the British submarine that got the first Enigma machine. That would be brilliant. Or was it a destroyer or something? Not a submarine, was it? You can't have subs attacking subs as such and boarding them. But anyway, you know what I mean. Hey, Carlos, Eastwood for Life fan is here. Hi, Trevor. What's your take on the Bruce Lee 4K set from Arrow Video, with Enter the Dragon only being the old 2K scan? You'd think Warner would join in with them, would join in with the other movies and be all 4K set. Yeah. Is there not a standalone 4K coming out? In which case they may not have wanted Arrow to put it out. Now, I'm not collecting any of these. It's not that I wouldn't like the films. I just don't have enough time in the day or my life to sit and watch martial arts, World War II, westerns, sci-fi, horror, and just about everything else. But yeah, I think it's just a case of, if Arrows is coming out soon and the standalone 4K isn't coming out yet, then obviously they don't want Arrow to kind of get the jump on them. It's very complicated, this whole licensing from the studios, and I know very little about it. My friend at the BFI knows a hell of a lot, and maybe one day I'll get him on the channel. He has said to me in the past that he does the job all day, so he doesn't want to talk shop, after work, so to speak. I ask him the odd question here and there, and he's happy to oblige and answer. But so yeah, right. Oh, Ash, Popcorn and Horror, how you doing, mate? Hi, Trevor. Oh, excuse me. Just wanted to drop by and show some support for the live stream. Oh, well, thank you very much, friend. Kind of miss your channel, mate. Bring it back. Oi. Matt V Movies, hi, Ash. So Cheekster, I think he's talking to Carlos. Fan clearly, because Warner Bros are releasing Enter the Dragon. Yeah, there we go. You can't answer it for me. So, oops, jumped up too far. Where did he go? Evening, Keith, Dan, Carlos. That's Matt's talking to other people. We'll talk about it amongst yourselves then. Ignore me, huh? Hey, John's here from Mondo Chelovek. Hi, Trevor. Nice to see you starting up live streams. What are your top 3 movies in the slasher collection? Cheers and have a great stream. Oh, cheers, John. Right. Now I've got 50 to try and work out which are my top 3. And of course, they're all there. So one of them will be X-Ray. That film to me is the epitome of a nightmare. In the sense she cannot get out of the hospital no matter what she tries, and yeah, just a brilliant film. Really nicely done, and actually the 4K I have looks splendid. But of course, you know me, and I like my crusty films, so I should definitely be keeping the 88 slasher version, partly because I don't want to break up my collection, and 2, because I like watching it the way it is. What else is up there? So Mountaintop Motel Massacre. I really like that one as well. That I could definitely watch on 4K if one comes around. And I think probably Intruder. I've only watched it the once. Is it a Toby Hooper film? That was really impressive. It was a case of look at the cover, and I think to myself, well, that can't be in the film, surely. I was wrong. What's on the cover is in the film, and I was really impressed. So, yeah, John, there you go. I think you find that's my top 3. Could probably give you my worst 3 as well. No, I won't. So, other people talking to each other. Hi, Matt Cheekster. You'd think Warner would come on in anniversary set like they did with the US Criterion Blu-ray set. Okay. More hi to each other. Dave McKee. Trevor, I would love you to watch the movie A Ghost Story. In my opinion, I think this is a bit of a masterpiece, but it is a very slow movie. Um, a Ghost Story. I'm not sure I know that one, to be honest. David, I'm sorry. Um, and slow movies. I will watch a film from start to finish. Um, I think I've only once or twice, um, turned the film off. So generally, yeah. So maybe I'll find a copy of it and I'll give it a go, and I'll let you know what I think. Um, so Matt V movies. Do I still collect DVD? I do pick up the odd DVD here and there, and I picked some up at the weekend actually, and that's for a bit of an experiment I'm doing. So you may have seen I mentioned a bit of a Blu-ray experiment I've got coming in the works, and I picked up these titles for that very reason. Um, if there's any, when I go to CEX or something, if there's like a horror film I want to try out, or a World War II film or something, especially World War II films, if they're not going to necessarily come out on Blu-ray, or they won't come out on Blu-ray for a long time, then less likely to come out on 4K. So yes, I will definitely collect DVDs. So Monticello Movies says, yeah, it was a big ask to pick 3 from 50, but your picks are great movies for sure. Haha, I knew you were like your crusty dusty. Yeah, crusty and dusty. So Bumper said that on this there's a crusty version, and I knew that, and that's partly why I wanted it. That it had a different cut on it. It's called the Titan something or other. Yeah, Finding Titan. Yeah, the Titan Find. Don't know why they called it that, but yeah, it's kind of cool being able to watch films in this ultra pristine versions. We get on our 4Ks, and but like you may have seen in one of my videos, I watched the DVD version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre before I got the Second Sight box set, um, purely because I wanted that really old school, as close to sort of watching it on a VHS and a CRT that I could experience, and also just to compare it to what it looked like when I got it on 4K. And I think the 4K looks brilliant. It just looks like I'm watching 16 mil. All the grain structure, and I'm a bit windy. I'm sorry. I just wolfed down a pizza before I started this, but yes, watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it just looked absolutely brilliant. And I'm glad it didn't look like a pristine 4K, because it's not meant to. It's meant to look like you're watching a 16 mil film in the cinema. And of course, watching it on my big screen, it really gives that effect. I can't watch the 4K on my TV because it's only a 2K TV. But my father-in-law has a 4K, so I might take it around there and give it a look and see what you guys are seeing. So Carlos, Eastwood fan for life, or Eastwood for life fan. I get it right. Sorry about that, Carlos. Your most requested movies that you would love a 4K release. So there's a film that I remember seeing at the cinema called The Ghost and the Darkness, which is a true story about man-eating lions. Now there is a Blu-ray of that, and not in the UK though. I think I'd have to get either an Australian or an American one. But with all this 4K coming out, and I'm pretty sure it's Warner Brothers. I can't see from here. If no, maybe Paramount, but that would definitely be one I would snap up on 4K. I've only got a DVD version of it, as you know, as I sort of alluded to, and it's not ever going to give me the experience I had at the cinema, because that was a Warner Brothers cinema in Watford, and the screen was absolutely massive. It wasn't IMAX or anything, but the screen was massive, and having these lions roar right in your face, full screen, was just it was scary. I was tense watching that film. So, Doctor Impossible, The Counterpunch, 1984. Attack Force said it wasn't that one, but I do know the film. It's a Mel Gibson film, isn't it? Not a bad entry into exploitation. Decent cast. Sam Neill, Mel Gibson, yeah, and Sinbad. John Philip Law. My fave exploitation film. Money Movers. Oh, right. Okay, mate. I'm sure one day I will get into more Australian films, because obviously at the moment I'm starting to explore Japanese movies. Not the martial arts stuff as such, but with my Japanese knockoff series. It's good to see a different perspective on how to make films. So, Mono Chelovek movies. Yes, Titan Fine is the name of the ship, I think. Oh, right. And that version is lesser quality. Great. So it's good to have a crusty version. Let's have some water, shall we? So Cheekster says to Carlos, Warner Brothers only allowed Criterion to include 2K restoration of Enter the Dragon in 2020. No doubt because they were already planning a 4K UHD for the 50th anniversary. Yep, that makes total sense to me. Why would you give another label, the heads up on releasing something and getting it out before you? So, so Dan's Movie Cave. I'm still all for collecting DVD and war movies and westerns in particular, as many aren't released here in the UK. Anzio, Hell is for Heroes, just to name a couple. Yes, Anzio. That is a great World War II film. Now, a little story about Anzio, Dan. My mum's uncle, if I get this right, he landed at Anzio. Not on the first day, so he, it was a few days later, and he literally walked onto the beach, and but went out on patrol one night, and got separated from his patrol. So what do? You just keep wandering around aimlessly by yourself. Well, I guess it was night time. He hunkered down in a hedgerow, and was just minding his own business. And what does he hear? But some kind of click, like a gun click. And he turns round and looks through the hedge straight into the eyes of a German soldier. Now, of course, he was still around to tell me that story. So basically, they both got really scared and they went their separate ways. So yes, that's always going to stick with me. Again, he's one of these people that I didn't really know enough, and wish I'd had more time once I realized how much I was into World War II to sit and talk to him, because he actually opened up to me. I'll tell you that another time. Anyway. So Matvey movies, typing issues. I still love the collectors DVD sets, great discs, artwork, digipack designs, booklets, etc. A lot of effort went into these releases back in the day. Yes, Matt, they did. This was when the budgets and everything were much bigger, I suppose. And the time scale and the amount of people working on these discs was much, much bigger. So I think, DVD is totally surpassed what Blu-ray has achieved in sales. So even the heyday of Blu-ray, there was a lot of us when I was working at Testronic, but we were still doing VHS when I started at Testronic, which was about 2004, I think, something like that, or 2005. And it was only Disney who was still keeping the format going because they wanted potential clients, people who didn't have a DVD player but only had VHS to still be able to watch their films. But obviously they had the money to do this. But I wish I had a list of all the titles I worked on when I was at Testronic. I never worked on any VHS. That was just one person that did that. But that soon disappeared. But DVD wise, I've done so many things, a lot of which I have in my collection, a lot of which you guys have in your collections. And one day I'll try and pick as many of them as I can and say, you see all these? I worked on these. And yeah. Right. So, Dan's Man Cave. Waking Fright is a must Australian movie. Send me a WhatsApp, mate, with that down, so I don't forget it. I'll check that one out. Bumpers Movie says can't beat charity shop DVD hunt. No, mate, you can't. Oh, excuse me. Next time I do a live stream, I'm not going to force down a pizza before I start. Yes, DVD hunts in charity shops. What great places they are. Not only are they helping charities, but they're helping us. They're helping our addictions. So maybe that's not a good thing. I don't know. I found some pretty good things in there. Obviously, that Gone Girl, which I had to get a second one of. Well, I didn't have to, but we found a second one of because it had the booking. And I still haven't found the previous one because it's buried somewhere under all these piles of discs I've got. But mostly my wife and I go to charity shops for CDs. Yes, we still collect CDs. And we found some awesome titles, and especially a lot of the old bands. But hey, there you go. That's a different story. So, Eastwood for Life fan, The Ghost in the Darkness, starring Michael Douglas. I'm sure there's a German Blu-ray release. Yes, mate, there is. And I've been tempted to buy it on Blu-ray, especially when I saw that release was available. And of course, there's a US SKU as well. And I was like, no, I'm going to be patient. I'm going to see if 4K comes out because I believe it needs one. It's a true story. I've told Arrow on multiple occasions when they've sort of asked people in Facebook and stuff like that what titles you want, and I've said The Ghost in the Darkness, please. So hopefully one of them will pick it up. Dan's Man Cave. I really enjoy hearing war stories, and the one your great uncle's, he must had thought that's the last moments looking down the barrel of a German gun. Yes, mate. That must have been scary as hell, but it was the same for the German. He suddenly realized that there was an enemy soldier the other side of the bush, and oh, mate, if I ever get to make a film, it's going in there. That scene is going to go in there because to know that can't have been the only time it happened. There must be so many times when that sort of thing happened, and yeah, there's got to be so many stories like that. So Mondo Chelovek, long story short, about 10 years ago, I used to look after a few. Oi, stop commenting. I was reading that. I used to look after a few old gents that had been in World War II, and the stories they told me were fascinating. John, my friend, dude, write them down, please. Record them onto video. Whatever you can, whatever you remember. These stories have to be told. These stories have to be remembered, and they have to be shared. So I don't know. Hopefully, in the future, Dan and I from Dan's Man Cave might be doing something World War II related. We haven't actually quite had time to sort of flesh this idea out, but I think we're both thinking along the similar lines. And yeah, if John, if you can get them done into a video, just the things you said, or like I said, write it down, send them to me in an email, a letter, or something. Just yeah, please share them with me, mate. That would be awesome. So Eastwood Fan for Life, my favorite physical media labels and worst media labels. So my favorite ones. Well, it's going to be the same for most. Arrow and 88. Arrow I discovered just as the window box versions were finishing, and I managed to get some of them brand new and sealed, and then I started to realize that they were sold out, and of course they were all over eBay for stupid money. So I've slowly picked them up here and there when they've come down in price, or I've just found someone sensible selling them. So yeah, that was about the period I picked up on Arrow. Strangely, you may have heard me mention before that a big period of unemployment I had. It was like 4 years of unemployment, and I used to watch YouTube videos on my phone at night. So I watched films, horror films, and I was watching these films, and then I slowly realised that Arrow were releasing them, and it's like I've got a list of all those films, and I do mean to share it on the channel one day, and say this was one I watched on YouTube. It's now been released, or it was released, and I have it, or that kind of thing. 88 again. I came across them not long after they started. I missed the first Indiegogo fundraiser they did, where they did the original SKU of Anthropophagus the Beast, and I think Burial Ground with the slipcover. Now I have both of those. I don't have the art cards for Anthropophagus the Beast, because I got my slipcover when I took part in the Indiegogo to release the 4 films they restored. You'll find that in my playlist somewhere if you want to know more about that. But yeah, I mean, US ones, Blue Underground are pretty good, but I kind of have most of their titles that they've put out that I want, and that isn't many. But I think Vinegar Syndrome released a few more sort of obscure ones that I'm just not interested in, and I've got to the stage now in my collecting that I don't tend to go for every pretty picture. I don't tend to go for every that slipcover. I used to do that, believe me. With 88, a lot of what's up there I don't necessarily like. I won't get rid of. The only one I got rid of was Tate and something. Not Tate and Lyle, that's the sugar people, but Cohen and Tate. I watched that movie. I really struggled to get to the end, and I got rid of it. But that was it's an Arrow release, wasn't it? But yeah, I mean, there's labels popping up here, there, and everywhere, isn't there? So yeah, 88 an Arrow. I'm not going to be different to anyone else. So Southend on Sea Arts. Oh, hello there. Hi there. I've got a channel, Let's Talk Criterion. Recently did a video on Second Sight planning a look at Mubi and Arrow soon. Well done on those subs. I've got about 315 now. It's taken about 3 years. Yes, mate. Starting a channel is no quick and easy way, unless you just happen to hit on something that everyone loves and the word gets about. Then yes, it takes a while. Now, I've only reached my subs because I had great help from John Perry at Mondo Chelivec. He gave me a shout out on his channel. That definitely got me some subs. But I don't know if you watch. I'm sure you watch the Movie Collector channel with John Clancy. He interviewed me on his channel because when I used to work in the industry. We met up at H&B in Newbury, and then went back to his, I think it was his mother-in-law's house. And yes, we sat in a conservatory, and he just talked to me, asked me questions about my time in the industry, and I've picked certain videos that have sparked interest, because they're a bit different, because I'm an insider, because I've been in the industry. So anyway, good luck with your channel, and hopefully I'll catch you on a live stream at some point. And yeah, Mubi Bumper, from Bumper's Movies. He talks about Mubi quite a lot. He's got quite a few of their titles. And yeah, Arrow. Well, who hasn't got an Arrow title? All right, Mr. Reynolds. If you did make your own movie and you only made one, what genre or genres would be in there? Well, yeah, I think it would. If I only got to make one, I think it would have to encompass, yeah, lots of genres. So, if I was to just do one genre, I think it'd be World War II. As I said earlier, so many things are so important to share, and with the de-restriction of the Official Secrets Act on so many things now, as so much time has lapsed since the end of the war, so many more things are coming to the forefront, and things that we didn't know, and there's fascinating things. So yeah, I think if I was given the budget and you're told you can make one movie, I'd make a World War II movie. And you know what? It would be that good that I'd get more movies to do. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah, Monochellebec says he'll send me the story, so that's really good. I appreciate that, mate. Doctrine Prospal of the Counterpunch 1984. What's the most complicated extra you've ever had to work on for a DVD or Blu-ray release? What a brilliant question. Oh, when I think about the most complicated one, I'll tell you one that bugged me in the sense that it was food related. Now, if you've got the Blu-ray Ratatouille, there's a game on there. There's some chef's game or something, and it's kind of like the artwork is painting style. It's not like it's photos of food; it's painted. And I had to test this for all the different SKUs we did. So the European SKU, the German SKU, the French SKU, the UK SKU, the American SKU, this, that, and the other. So I don't think I was the only one testing it, but I tested that game a lot, and I enjoyed playing it. But you know what? It always made me hungry. I would go to lunch. I would come back from lunch. I would carry on testing this game, and I'd be hungry again. So that's that's very fresh in my head, that memory, being there. So probably the most complicated bonus item or items, I think, would be the Hyperion Studios tour on Snow White Blu-ray. This was Disney, and this was Blu-ray being used to the max. Now, if you've ever navigated that disc or those discs, you just reminded me of another one. But yeah, it's such a brilliant bonus item, and the way it tours you around the studio, I wish I could have done my Palmer Studio tour in that vein. And if you haven't done that tour yet on the Snow White, any of you, I get it out, put it on, and go into the bonus features and take a tour of the Hyperion Studios, which is where Disney started out before they opened Disney Studios. It's fascinating. It's a trip back in time. And so, yes, the most complex bonus item. Now, if any of you have the Lost Blu-ray box set, all the seasons in it, there is a feature in there that if you're watching it with your family, but for some reason someone stops watching it because they have to go and do something, and you get 3 or 4 episodes ahead, you can set up a profile. And when you enter your profile, when you reload the disc, it goes to where you left off, not to where your family members or your friends left off. There's a lot of episodes for Lost. And no, we didn't get it in chronological order. So I think we started on season 2 when we were testing it at Testronic. So I was completely lost as to what was going on. I'd sort of seen trailers, so I kind of knew it was about a plane crash, sort of. But it wasn't until I finally got to see the pilot episode, it's like, oh, finally, it makes more sense. But that's when Blu-ray was being used at its best. The technology in Blu-ray is barely used at the moment. Arrow, I think, use it the most. I did a video where I said, did you know Blu-ray could do this? And it talks about seamless branching. So if you go and find that in my playlists, and I actually show some video of it working. So if you didn't know what seamless branching was, Arrow do this when they have their multiple versions of a film. So take Don't Go in the House. There's 8 versions of that film. Okay, it's on 3 discs, but I'm pretty sure they use seamless branching to achieve that. So essentially, there's only one version of the film on each disc, but it can branch off to fit in the other bits and bobs. So anyway, lots of comments. Thank you so much for the comments, guys. This is such a brilliant way to start, have my first live stream. So Dr. Impossible, that is just a brilliant question. So Dan's Man Cave. My worry is how society is becoming, and those who fought in World War II will be forgotten, and their stories lost forever. So I completely agree, Trevor, that stories they told to us should be told again. Yeah, there's so much going on in life these days. As I alluded to earlier, our lives are so busy, I don't have time to watch all these different genres. I would love to have multiples of me living a Western life, a horror life, a World War II life, a music life. This, it'd be brilliant, because then you could all sort of converse with each other and say what you enjoyed about things. But yeah, I'm sure you don't want to see multiple of me, do you? But yeah, these, I could sit and talk for hours about World War II. There's so many things, and I'm a little apprehensive about Oppenheimer, because my track record with Christopher Nolan is not very good. I have not seen Tenet. I have no desire to watch Tenet. Interstellar, I could have gone to the BFI to see it on IMAX, and I probably should have done, but I'm just not interested in the film, and it's a shame. Momentum is brilliant. The Dark Knight trilogy is brilliant. Inception is brilliant, and probably a couple of others. But yeah, Dunkirk, talking about World War II, I hate it. I got to the end of it because, like I said, I will not turn films off, and I only have the Blu-ray. And my last HMV haul, which will be part 3 of my birthday haul videos, it was there for $9.99 at the checkout, and I nearly picked it up, but I spent so much I didn't. So yeah, these stories, they do need to be told, they do need to be shared, and they're very important. So Monticello X says, do you have access to a drum kit these days, Trev? If so, Do you double bass drum, and how fast are you? It's all about speed. John, mate, that is a touchy subject. I have to be honest. My drums are in storage, and not good. Right, no, not going to cry. Yeah, my drums are in storage. I can do double bass, and there are 2 songs on Spotify. A band called The Air Turned to Acid, and if you look at this, you'll probably see it better in one of my videos, because this resolution on this camera is not as good. This is actually on its side. It's got the lyrics and whatnot there. That was the 40th birthday present from the band. That's the only release I'm on that's been done through a label. And yes, I'm on 2 songs. It's a split EP with another band called Tides of Sulphur. Yeah, so one of the songs definitely has some fast drumming in it. I can't actually remember. It's been 8 years. I can't remember if there's much double bass work. But if you go on SoundCloud and look up Glacial Path, all one word, you'll see my face in the body of my guitar. And that's my avatar for my profile. And yeah, I've got a bunch of demos on there. And I think one of them is called, this shows you how bad out of my music I've got. I can't even remember my own damn song titles. Listen to them all, and you'll come across the double bass one. And I had to cheat a little bit. It is me playing it, but I had to drop it in the double bass stuff. I couldn't do it continuously. I couldn't play the song, change gear, and then come out of it again. I had to do a drop in. You know what drop ins are from recording. So, mate, if I had access to a drum kit, you would have seen plenty of drumming videos from me. Trust me, and you will again. That is my ultimate aim. That's basically the comment right at the beginning of this live stream. I think I may have said it before a lot of you really appeared. That is kind of the main reason why I don't want to be quite as old as I am yet. Anyway, that's another story. Right, back to the questions, huh? So where do we go? Oh, I'm lost. All right. Hey, stop doing that. More comments coming in. That's great, though. So, Eastwood for Life fan, do you think that some new movie fans and collectors whine a little too much about the transfers when purchasing 4K releases, when you've actually come a long way from VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray? That is a brilliant question, and there's many levels to that. The answer for that. Yes, we have forgotten the grand days of VHS, and the format war, VHS and Betamax. Which was the better format? Betamax. Who won? The cheaper one. So yeah, we were subject to VHS, and I've never actually watched Betamax. But then, of course, Laserdisc, that came along. It was better. I've never actually seen a Laserdisc presentation. Maybe I'll have to one day. I do know some people that have got some. So then, of course, DVD comes along, and suddenly we've got this pristine picture, this really good picture, but it's only 576 resolution. The term resolution, for how many pixels on screen wasn't relevant then. Really, we didn't look at it as that. We didn't. We may have done if we were getting region 3 DVDs and found out that they were NTSC and they were 480. Excuse me, bloody itchy nose. And But now, of course, that was one of the things they pushed when Blu-ray came out: 1080p, 1080 progressive picture as opposed to 1080i, the interlaced picture. So DVD has only ever been interlaced. Your players can make it progressive, and but now we've got 4K. So 2160 is it? I forget. Obviously, when I was at Testronic, 1920 by 1080, we talked about so many times. It's ingrained in here, but I've never worked on 4K, so I don't know. I can only just remember what resolution it is, but that's what I mean. We expect the best these days. We expect to get our TV. We expect to unbox it, put it on the wall, turn it on, and have this amazing picture. But you don't. You have to set up the picture. And if people are watching, this is why I try not to mention this too much on my channel, because I don't want to bore people. But this is why it's so important to have your settings as close to correct as possible. The people that master these movies, now the masters are made for the cinema. It just happens to be the same masters are then used to create the discs. Obviously, the cinema is uncompressed. The discs are compressed. They work on a monitor. Remember when you had a 32-inch TV? They work on a master monitor that size. They don't need to have a big 50-inch or 80-inch screen to master the picture. My understanding is that they master at that size, and they'll do the colors to a certain intensity, knowing full well they'll oversaturate the picture, basically, knowing full well that it's going to be blown up to a massive cinema screen. And then the colors will wash out slightly, and then they'll look correct. So, as I keep saying, our TVs, as big as they are, 50-inch, 60-inch, whatever, they're postage stamps compared to the cinema screen. So if we all sat and remembered, I'm watching this on a very small screen. Okay, the picture looks like what it would on my screen. I can imagine it looking more accurate on a big cinema screen. So my projector screen, albeit only twice the size of my TV, does actually get me close to that cinema experience. It does wash the colors out a little bit. It does brighten the picture in the sense that obviously a projector can't get as dark as a TV. And that's another thing. Watching these 4Ks with all this intenseness on a high quality OLED TV, or even your LCD TVs, things are going to look really dark, because for 15 years we've been watching Blu-ray. And as I said in one of my videos talking about is 4K too dark, my reply to that was, well, actually, I think Blu-ray is too bright. So this is partly why I'm doing this experiment video for Blu-ray. I want to delve into that a little bit more and hopefully give you some answers regarding that. So do people whine? Of course they do. We all know what we like. We all sit and watch things and go, oh, that looks amazing. Or we watch it again and go, oh, that looks terrible. And when I'm watching, and especially my mate Neil, when he comes around to watch films on the screen with me, we're both watching films we've seen before, loads of times, plenty of times. And we're seeing things we've never seen before, because the detail that's there is so small on your TV, but when it's blown up, and it's much easier to see. And then, like I said, the colors are brighter and they're more natural. The best thing for people to do, anyone, when viewing a disc, if you're going to review it for your channel, this is my opinion anyway. My view is, does it look like my, are the skin tones correct? Whatever color your skin is, do the skin tones on the screen match the way your skin looks like in real life? Do the chairs and tables and clothing and this, that, and the other look the same as they do in real life? the room I'm in now is getting darker. Obviously, the camera's compensating, and there's still light coming through the window. But you have to look at your surroundings. When they started celluloid film, especially when they went to color, the ultimate aim with all the film lights and everything was to recreate real life on film. Back in the 50s, and when they really started exploring color, they weren't having these heavy color grades like you have on modern movies with these blue tints or these green tints or brown tints and fancy coloring. They wanted it to look as close to real life as possible, and they did everything they can to achieve that. Now, when we watch these 4Ks, we obviously realize they didn't manage it in some cases because it's studio lighting. And even modern films now, I can almost tell when it's studio lit to compare to when it's daylight lit. You look at Star Wars and all the Death Star stuff, the lighting for that was the sun because it was all done outside. That's the best way of lighting, is to use natural light. But obviously, when you're in a soundstage, you have to use what light is available. And they can put so many lamps up in the ceilings, and they can use the reflector screens and all this, that, and the other to get the light in the right place. Yeah, I may have to do a video talking about that because, what's the time? I need to find out what the time is. Right, I've got a little bit longer. I'm going to try and get through some more of your comments quickly, and then I'm going to wrap it up because I want to watch the film. So, anyway, so Cheekster 777. What reason would a movie studio have to not allow a physical media label to include one or more trailers for that same movie? Makes no sense to me. I've always enjoyed movie trailers, still do. Again, mate, I think it's down to what they purchased. It's not a case of necessarily a studio allowing a label to use multiple trailers. Because perhaps what you're thinking of, say a Disney release, and it has a trailer build, doesn't it? And you have 4 or 5 trailers for up and coming films, or already on DVD or Blu-ray trailers. But also maybe the labels don't want to put just loads of trailers on there, and they may only just. It's multiple reasons, I would imagine. But because I've not worked for a label as such. When I worked at Sony, that was a studio. So that wasn't like working for Arrow or 88. So I couldn't tell. I can ask my friend at the BFI. How about that? And I'll try and get back to you. Southend on Sea Arts. Blu-ray menus are quite plain nowadays, sometimes just still images. I suppose a sign of staff shortage and lower production budgets. Yes, that's true. So your basic menu with so I watched Deep Impact 4K, and I won't say anything about it now because I'll do a separate video on it. But the menu is just a picture and 3 buttons: play, I think setup, and subtitles or something. And that's called a vanilla disc. Doesn't really require any work as such. It will still take a long time to produce, but yes, the reason there's not all these massive convoluted submenus and submenus and submenus like the old Disney days is time and budget. So yeah, that's the sad part of it. Bumpers movies. Yeah, some of the old DVD menus were awesome, but they put in zero effort these days, aside from boutique labels. I think the biggest studios, you got to think their catalogue that they got to deal with. So not only are they dealing with making films, releasing their own content on physical media, subletting content to boutique labels, so many other things. So yes, there is a specific department, a Paramount physical media department. The studio is going to have a budget for the year, and that department will get a portion of that budget. If they've got 100 titles, they've got a budget for those 100 titles. So maybe you're maybe it's 10 million. I don't know. Maybe it's 10 million. But if you've got 100 titles, that's not £1 million a title, is it? So they know people have DVDs and Blu-rays with all the bonus on. So why do they need to do it again? Why do they need to release it again with all that same or even new stuff? The boutique labels are going to do what they can to make us buy their product. And, it's a shame it's not like it used to be. So, I lost my comments there. Where'd they go? Oh, things have jumped on. Oh, I lost my... Oh, there we go. So Cheeks is talking to Southend-on-Sea. Soa is a film 8 hours long, interview many Holocaust survivors. Spielberg has also been... Yes, I know about the Soa project. That's an amazing thing that Steven Spielberg's done. And I was really, sort of proud that he bothered to do that. Woolgore73. Hey, John. How you doing, mate? Hey, Trevor. Don't have as much time as I'd like right now, so just thought I'd drop in by and say hi and wish you all the best, my friends. Take care and have a stay safe. Oh, thank you, mate. I caught your last episode with John last night. You're a very generous man. Thanks for popping in. Good to see you. So, Mondo Chedovec, wow, sorry, mate. I'll take a look for them, bud. Actually, I'd drop a double bass as well, Trev. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. It's incredible what a lot of these drummers do, and there's some really, really, really good practice videos on YouTube. I'll let you know. So, right, so Southend-on-Sea Arts collectors constantly complain. It really annoys me. As soon as stuff releases, they find fault with it. Very nitpicky. They are spoiled. Yes, we are spoiled, aren't we? Now I find faults because I'm trained, but you guys find faults because they obviously are there. And you don't always need to be trained to find these things. I have to sort of turn my trained brain off at times because it would just spoil my movie viewing otherwise. So Eastwood Fan for Life, Werewolves Dare and Kelly's Heroes on 4K, please. Oh, yes, mate. Yes. Right. So, Carlos, if you look, or anyone, if you look at my avatar for Double Bill Movies and blow it up as big as you can, I'm outside a window. Bet you can't guess where that window is. You've just written it down. So, yeah. See if you can guess what film that's from and who jumped out the window. Dan's Movie Cave. Oh, you've changed your name, Dan. It was Dan's Man Cave before. Now it's Dan's Movie Cave. Nice. I like that. Where Eagles Dare, 100%. I'm pleased the Blu-ray is an upgrade from the DVD, but the movie deserves a better remaster. Yep. Yeah, basically. I haven't watched my Blu-ray of Where Eagles Dare yet, I don't think. Neil Reynolds, great stream, mate. Really enjoyable. Nice to hear. Title Sulphur and Tartar. Yes, Tartar, the air turned to acid. So Neil used to be a promoter and he put on many of the shows that me and various bands that I've been in over the years have done. So thanks, Neil. Love you lots, mate. Some good times. Of course, Glacial Path will be great to hear more of when you get there. I know, mate, and you're going to be the first to hear. Trust me. And I want to give you that call to say I'm doing a show. I really do. Right. So Cheekster, Dan's Movie Cave. Director Clint Eastwood has approved new 4K remaster of Where Eagles Dare. Oh, that sounds good. And all the Dirty Harry movies, even better. They will likely arrive on 4K UHD Blu-ray at some point. That's good to know. So Neil's chosen his movie for tomorrow by the looks of it. Tomorrow, I think continuing the Alien series has got to be done, which means Prometheus. So hopefully it's more enjoyable this time around. I'm sure it will be, mate. And of course I got a 4K, so that's good. Maybe it will make less sense after watching the AVPs. Yeah. Anyway, I've got a theory on why the Alien is different. People moaned the Alien was different, and I know why. Dan's Movie Cave, fantastic to Cheekstar. Carlos, Eastwood for Life fan. It seems that Germany get physical media movie releases before us in the UK and in the US. Why do you think that is? Now, when it comes to releases, generally, if you want the best version, not necessarily the best quality. I plan to do a video on that. And I'm not saying German releases are horrendous, they're not. But I hear some stories about some being not so good when we get the US or the UK release. Films I've got on DVD only, and the rest of the world only have a DVD. Germany has a Blu-ray. They seem to have a policy. They want things to be the best quality possible. So yes, there's some World War II films that are quite obscure, but there are Blu-rays of them, and I've only got them on DVD, or I've got them Blu-ray, and they've got a 3D version. So that kind of thing. I need to explore the whole German thing a little bit more. So maybe I'll get back to you on that one, Carlos. Thunderbolt and Lightfoot in the next few months. Okay, cool. Hello, Mike. Grey 1951 Media Channel. Hi, Trevor. Thanks for joining me, mate. Glad you can make it. So Cheeks are talking to Carlos. I've often wondered that they had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, 4 cases 2016. Other regions had to wait until 2022. So there, I think basically, by the sounds of it, we just put more work into it. We could have put a 4K out. You could upscale it. I don't know if the German SKU is upscaled. Or what kind of restoration work they did on it. But clearly, Second Sight were doing the restoration work. They may have given Germany the scans and said, here's the 4K scans. You can put it out. But they may not have been allowed to do anything else. And Second Sight were going on to do more work. And as some of these channels have proven that there has been more work done by Second Sight since the 2016 version. Mondo Chelovic movies. Just out of thought, if it ever happens, Dick Tracy would look stunning in 4K if it's done properly. Yeah, I'm sure it would, mate. I think there's kind of an endless list of films that we get on 4K that would look stunning. Movie Collector. Sorry I'm late, Trev. But being on the phone at the BFCC colleague talking about all things film. I'll have to catch up later now. Oh, no worries, John. Lovely that you joined in. Yeah, give me a call on the phone once you've watched it if you want to talk about anything. But thanks for jumping in on the comments. So it's John Clancy from Movie Collector. Dan's Man Cave. I agree with Dick Tracy. The colours of those blacks would look incredible. Yes. Southbound on Sea, Dirty Harry are all Warner Brothers, Clint Eastwood's sudden impact. Cool. Mondo Chelovic movies. It just popped into my head, Dan, and the last time I saw it, probably Sky. So yeah, colours were so vibrant. Cheekster says, hi, John Clancy. Dr. Impossible. Right. The closest to natural light in the studio setting was the cinematography to the MGM film about Vincent van Gogh called Lust for Life, Freddie Young as the cinematographer. There's been a couple of films where there are certain situations where you can get it right. Invariably, it's light coming through a window to light an interior, even though it's an interior inside a soundstage. That is easier to achieve than trying to be outside. But I haven't seen that film, so I'll have to check it out. Dan's Man Cave. Last one from me, Trev, as you want to watch a movie. But just want to say, fantastic stream. Really chuffed. It went well. Oh, thank you, my friend. I've had a lot of fun. Well, coming up hour and a half. So yeah, I will be knocking off very, very soon. So Cheekster says, thank you, Trevor, for your first solo live stream. Went very well, my friend. Hope you try to do these regularly. I will do them again, definitely. It's been so much fun. It's been really good. And so Carlos, what's your take on the Spanish Grey release on Blu-ray movies they've released without consent and not official releases such as True Lies? Spanish releases, I think I know what you mean. I have I don't know about not doing it via not having the consent, but which is the one I have? The Purple Heart, I think it is. And trust me, it's kind of officially done. It's on a BDR, a Blu-ray disc writable, but the picture quality is way too good for it to be any kind of bootleg. And I know the inlays, they don't print, they look like the old bootleg ones, don't they? But yeah, the fact that they're in Spanish and everything, it means they've done them properly. Maybe they just don't have the budget. You know, when we look at these things and you get a BDR and you think, oh, hang on, surely this is a bootleg. I don't think they are. I think they're genuine releases. It's just a way of doing it. It's cheaper, isn't it, to do a BDR rather than a glass master? So anyway, yeah. So Mondo Chelovek, you're a natural for the live stream. Very interesting topics you've touched on and great comments from all concerned. I'm off for my pizza now. Cheers, John. Thanks very much for joining, mate. Yeah, we'll have to have that chat between you, me, and Keith at some point soon. You'll have to just take a week off work, mate, and sod work and just get on a few other things, eh? Enjoy your pizza, mate, and take it easy. Well, there was pepperoni on my pizza, and I had some onion rings as well. So, yeah, John, what pizza are you having? Anyway, guys, look, thank you very much. You've made my very first stream for my channel very special. And it was so much fun. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to go and watch a movie. I'm going to go and watch this movie. I'm going to pull those curtains, pull that blind down, get the projector out, and sit and watch a movie. So that's the end. Until the next time, take it easy. And Bumpers just popped in and said, tuna and pineapple. Right. Take it easy, guys. Thanks for watching. Cool, Leslie. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Well done, your first stream. If you ever want to talk Criterion, I'm up for that. Yes, mate. Get in touch. I think I commented on your video, and we did sort of mention it in the comments on your video. Because I said I'm not the biggest fan of Criterion. So, hey, that would be a good topic for a live stream. So, please, yes, if you want to do some kind of live stream, we'd probably have to do it on StreamYard, is it? That would be easier rather than just through YouTube. So, yeah, perhaps we can work something out. Vegetarian pizza. Oh, how boring, John. Anyway, right. Thanks for all the thumbs up and thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. So I'm going to end the stream now. Bye.